Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Last episode, we were able to investigate the murder of Mia Fey much as we can, and we left off on April May that she had a wiretap for some reason. So we're gonna move on towards the trial. Sorry guys. I was just trying to fix my OBS. September 7th, 10 a.m. District Court number 1. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Maya Fey Edgeworth. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Let me see something real quick. Profiles. 27, 17. Dick Gumshoe's 30. Grossberg is 64. April May is 23. Edgeworth is 24. The bellboy is 26. The most important part is Maya Fey is 17. She's almost legal. Okay. Miles Edgeworth. I better not show any signs of weakness today, or he'll be on me in an instant. Mr. Edgeworth, please give the court your opening statement. Thank you, Your Honor. The defendant, Miss Maya Fey, was at the scene of the crime. The prosecution has evidence she already committed this murder. We have evidence to see who would do it. The prosecution sees no reason to doubt the facts of this case, Your Honor. I see. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Let's begin then. We may call our first witness, Your Honor. The prosecution calls the chief officer at the scene, Detective Gumshoe. Witness, please state your name and profession to the court. Sir, my name is Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm the detective in charge of the homicides down at the precinct, sir. Dick Gumshoe. Please describe for us the details of this murder. Very well. Let me use this floor mat of the office to explain. The body was found by this window here. So the window's over here. And the glass stuff was here. The plant. And the cause of death? Loss of blood due to being struck by a blunt object, sir. The murder weapon was the statue of the thinker found next to the body, sir. It was heavy enough to be a deadly weapon, even in the girl's hands, sir. The court accepts this statue as evidence. They're still calling it a statue. Floor plans added to the courtroom. Now, Mr. Detective. Yes, sir. You immediately arrested Miss Maya Fey, who was found at the scene, correct? Can you tell me why? Yes, sir. I had all the evidence she did it, sir. Detective Gumshoe, please testify to the court about this hard evidence. Witness testimony. As soon as the phone call came in, I rushed to the scene. There were 2 people there already. The defendant, Miss Maya Fey, and the lawyer, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I immediately arrested Miss Maya Fey. Why, we had a witness account describing her. The witness saw Miss Maya Fey at the very moment of the murder. The very moment, you say? Very well, Mr. Wright. You may begin your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Cross-examine what? I can't see a single contradiction in that testimony. Whoosh. Smack. Hey, Maya just threw something at me. What's this? When my sister couldn't find any contradictions in a witness testimony, she would bluff it and press the witness on every detail. The witness always steps up and says something wrong. It worked lots of times. I expected Maya to know some of her sister's tricks. Alright, let's give this a try. Something the matter? No, Your Honor. I just like to begin my cross-examination. Came and rushed to the scene. Who did you say you got a call from? Hey pal, don't play dumb, you know who. The call was from a customer at the Gateway Hotel, right across the scene of the crime. Okay, I pressed, not sure it did much though. Please continue. There are two types of people there already. Detective Gumshoe, how long would you say it took between you receiving the call and your arrival between the scene of the crime? Right. I say it was about 3 minutes. That's pretty fast. Our motto this month is quick response. That's how I got there before the killer got away. Indeed. So tell us who the two people you found in the scene were. Yes, sir. Defendant Miss Maya Fey and the lawyer Mr. Phoenix Wright. Are you absolutely sure it was us? Listen, pal, your dumback will only get you so far. We're pressing him on everything. With her funky hippie clothes and your spiky hair, you two stand out like suspicious people at a crime scene. Oh, he does have a point about her. She is pretty unmistakable. I should pick my points for the press a little bit with more care. I immediately arrest Miss Maya Fey. Why is that? What's your reason? Why, we had a witness describing her. Hold on just 1 second. Yeah? If I heard you correctly, you said you arrested her because you had hard evidence she did it, correct? Huh? Did I say that? Me? You heard you said it. You did say it. You said it. Exactly what is the suspicious woman in pink's claim you heard was hard evidence? What? Miss May isn't suspicious. She sure isn't pink, pal. Well, I guess she is pink. That's enough, Detective Gumshoe. Do you have any more solid proof other than her claims, Detective? I guess pressing can have its advantages. Yes. Gah. Sorry, I got the order of things mixed up in my testimony, Your Honor, sir. There is something I should have told you about first, Your Honor. Very well, Detective. Let's hear your testimony again. Another witness testimony. Securing the suspect, I examined the scene of the crime with my own eyes. I found a memo written on a piece of paper next to the victim's body. On it, the word Maya was written clearly in blood. Laboratories showed that the blood was the victim's. Also, there was blood found in the victim's finger. Before she died, the victim wrote the killer's name. That's a contradiction. How you like that? That's my hard evidence. Before we begin cross-examination, I have a question for you, Detective. Your Honor, why did you testify that this vital piece of evidence in the first place? I know. I'm embarrassed about it, Your Honor, sir. I'll try to be more careful. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. Cross-examination. After securing the suspect, I examined the scene of the crime with my own eyes. Do you find any evidence? No, don't jump on the gun on me, pal. Just listen, I'm getting to the good part. I got a bad feeling about this. On a memo written to the piece of paper next to the victim's body. Just because you found it next to the body doesn't mean the victim wrote it. Oh, then who did write it, smarty pants? Who? The killer. The killer. Anyone can see that. Oh, you're saying the killer wrote her own name? Buddy, please. She was framed. Hold on. That's the case. Where's your evidence? I guess that was a bit of a tall order for you. Those without uppers shouldn't open their mouths, Mr. Wright. Yeah, pal. Yeah. Well, Detective, tell us what was written in the memo you found. On the word Maya was clearly written in blood. Do you have proof it was Mia who wrote that? Of course I do, pal. Uh-oh, you sounded pretty confident. This might not be good. Lab test results said the blood was the victim's. What kind of tests were these again? What kind? Well, I hear they take the little bits in the blood and the hemoglobin. I refuse to testify on this matter, pal. I'm no expert on blood tests. Yeah, we're just making fun of him. Yes, that was quite clear. You may continue with your testimony. Thanks, pal. I mean, your orders, sir. Detective Gumshoe. Yeah? I look forward to your next evaluation, as should you. Oh, that was a mess. Right, where was I? There was some blood found on the victim's finger. On which hand was the bloody finger, detective? The right hand. She was right-handed. Nice try. Uh-oh. I guess it wasn't too hard to see what was I getting at there. Before she died, the victim wrote the killer's name. Detective Gumshoe. Do you get a lot of cases where the victim actually writes the killer's name? Sure, it happens all the time in books and all the movies. This isn't a movie, detective. Oof. Let's talk about reality, shall we? I guess I haven't heard of many cases, no? Don't you find it a little odd that the victim would write down a name? Especially the name of her own sister? Yeah, actually, you got a point, pal. Stop right there. The witness's matters, not matters irrelevant. The facts are clear. The victim wrote down the name of the accused. Victor told us the name of her killer. Order! Order! That didn't go so well. That's right, what he said. That's his whole testimony. Okay, there has to be a contradiction in there somewhere. Let's find it. Alright. I know the cause of death is instantaneous, so let's present that. Objection! Detective Gumshoe. There's one thing I want you to clarify for me here. You said that the victim, Mia Fey, wrote this note. That she was accusing the defendant, Maya Fey. That really was what you're saying, right? What? This isn't one of those lawyer tricks now, is it? Of course she wrote it. Who else could have? You have it backwards, detective. Hold up. Hold up. I need to be comfortable with my own... There we go. Much better. Backwards. The victim is the only person who could have not absolutely written it. This is a report from your department, detective. Immediate death is due to a blow from a blunt object. She died immediately. No butting your way out of this one, detective. Order! Order! The defense has a point. Someone who died immediately wouldn't have time to write anything down. Mr. Wright, I beg your pardon. When did you exactly obtain the autopsy report? When? I forget! I think it was the day after the murder. It was the day after the murder. The prosecution's point being... The autopsy report is outdated, Your Honor. What? A second autopsy report was performed yesterday at my request. Death was almost immediate due to blow from a blunt object, but there is a possibility that the victim lived for several minutes after the blow. I received these issues this morning. What? What? No way. Your Honor, it's quite easy to imagine the victim did have time to write Maya. That is all. I see. Damn you, Edgeworth! I should have known you have something up your sleeve. Why, Mr. Wright? You look so shocked. Something you want to say? I'm a sham. The detective's a sham. Fuck you, Gumshoe. Detective Gumshoe, you're a sham. How could you give me a faulty report? I thought... Detective Gumshoe. I'm disappointed in you. Handing him the wrong report like that. Sorry, sir. You're at fault, detective. This isn't going to look good in your evaluation next month. But, Your Honor, I submit this report to the court. Understood. The court accepts the evidence. Autopsy report died from below, but may have lived a few minutes after being hit. Well, Your Honor, the evidence strongly suggests that the victim was identifying the killer. I suppose that's an obvious conclusion, yes? Darn, this isn't good. The prosecution would like to call its next witness. This poor innocent girl saw the murder with her own eyes. Order in the court! Let the witness Miss April May take the stand. Exactly what part of her is innocent. Oh no. Witness, your name please.
April May, at your service, wink!
Order! And an introduction should not require any reaction from the crowd. The witness will refrain from wanton winking.
Yes, Your Honor.
This is not good. He's already captured the heart of every man in this courtroom. God damn it, every man in this courtroom's a goddamn simp. For fuck's sakes. Tell us, where were you on the night of September 5th when the murder occurred?
Oh, gee, I was like in my hotel room, tee-hee. I checked in right after lunch.
And this hotel is directly across from the Fay & Co. law offices?
That's right, big boy.
Please testify to the court what you saw. Witness testimony again.
It was like 9 at night. I looked out the window, you know. And then, ooh, I saw a woman with long hair being attacked. The one attacking her was the mousy girl sitting in the defendant's chair. And the woman, dodged to one side and ran away. But that girl, she caught up to her and she hit her. And then the woman with long hair, she kind of slumped. And the end, that's all I saw. Every little wink, bitsy winksy wink.
Well, Your Honor, I see. It is a remarkably solid testimony. I don't see the need, the trouble to witness any. Wait, Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Wright? What about my cross-examination? I thought the witness testimony was quite firm, didn't you? Mr. Wright, I understand you were Miss Mia Fay's understudy, were you not? You must have known her techniques well. Her cowardly way of finding tiny faults in perfectly good testimonies. Hey, how dare you? Well, Mr. Wright, will you cross-examine the witness? Yes, I'm doing it. I'll gladly proceed with the cross-examination. Only because I have a feeling Edgeworth doesn't want me to. She has to have some weakness. Very well, you may begin your cross-examination.
It was like 9 at night and looked out the window, you know.
Why did you do that?
Huh? Why? Why what?
Why did you look out the window? Were you expecting to see something?
Oh, well, gee.
What? That's it? She can't get out of this question that easily.
I sort of, you know.
Stop shaking your boobs, for fuck's sake.
I had a feeling.
Well, I had a feeling she's trying to avoid the question. Maybe I should press a little harder at this one. Nah. If I go too deep, I might not come back out alive. I'll back off for now. You looked out the window. What did you see next?
And ooh, I saw a woman with long hair being attacked.
Oops. A woman with long hair. That was Mia Fay.
Slender, short of. Some people might say pretty if that's your thing.
Your Honor, your thing? And the person attacking her.
The one attacking her was a mousy girl sitting in the defendant's chair.
How do you know she was the defendant?
Oh, well, you know. She had a girlish physique. Women know these things. Look, I just know, okay?
There was only one person at the scene of the crime with short, girlish figure. The testimony is bulletproof, Your Honor. He's right. I question the testimony. Something is wrong here. Hold on a minute. The testimony stinks.
What?
Miss May, I'm willing to bet that you're lying. Are you telling the truth? Did you really see the defendant?
Yeah.
She has her crazy look on her face. Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this?
Yes, what is the meaning? Someone tell me because I'm clueless about this, I mean.
Okay. If you had really witnessed my client, Maya Fey, you would have noticed her clothes before her physique. Oh. Uh-oh, she's switching. No one wears clothes like that on a daily basis except her. I'm no expert on fashion, but her hairdo looks like far from normal to me. However, the witness testimony mentions she's neither of these things. Testimony is bogus.
But...
Still, we don't know if she was dressed like that way the night of the murder. She was, Your Honor. I saw her, and so did Detective Gumshoe. What did you say to that, Miss May?
What are you trying to say, you mean lawyer? I mean, saw what I saw. I just didn't think all the trifling little details were necessary, darling.
Miss May, the court would like to remind you to please omit nothing in your testimony.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'll be the good girl. I promise. Wink.
Your testimony again, if you would. Damn, I almost had her. Up. I guess we're gonna have to witness her testimony again.
I did see everything. I did. The victim, the woman, dodged the first attack and ran off to the right. Then the girl in the hippie clothes ran after her. And she hit her with the weapon. I saw it. I did. And that clock, that statue clock, thinker I mean thing? What does that accuracy of my report not start you, tee-hee?
I'm trying so hard. I see. I only wish he had been detailed from the beginning. Please begin the cross-examination.
I did see everything. I did.
Oh, wait, let me press this. So, you saw me then, too.
Of course. I remember that spiky hair anywhere.
Spike? The witness will refrain from personal attacks on the defense attorney. Oof.
Oh, I was a bad girl. I'm sorry.
Well, very well. Continue.
Victim, the woman dodged the first attack, ran off to the right.
You mean it? Is that right? As in your right from you look from your hotel?
Which hand do I look like I hold my knife in again? Right, it was my right hand, right.
Satisfied, Mr. Wright? Please continue.
And the girl in the hippie clothes ran after her.
How convenient for you to remember her hippie clothes.
Then, what do I mean? That's what she was wearing. Oh, and her hair was all done up like a bun.
What happened then?
She hit her with a weapon. I saw it. I did.
Where did this weapon come from?
She picked it up from the desk.
I see. What sort of weapon was it?
That clock. Kind of statue-y clock. I think.
Previous testimony must have been what Edward wanted to say, but let's test me in her own words. Not to press and squeeze the truth out of her. Figure T, of course. A clock. Didn't this come up in another testimony recently?
Well, don't look so sour, Mr. Lawyer. You can't win them all.
No, but I have a feeling I'm onto something now.
That clock.
Fuck. Maybe. Yeah. Guess we have to show her the clock. Objection! Miss May, what you said just now was quite revealing.
Revealing? Ooh, you like that, wouldn't you, naughty Mr. Lawyer?
You said that the statue of the thinker was a clock, but no way of knowing that just by looking at it.
Er,
Another person in much of the same position who recently called his clock, too, was found guilty of murder. Order! Order! Miss May, can you explain how you know this was a clock? The witness saw the murder with her own eyes. That's all important here. The defense is trying to confuse the issue with trivial concerns. Yes, yes, of course. We will withdraw your question, Mr. Wright. But questions are all I have, Your Honor. As you may recall, I've caught murders with these questions before. Well, only once. Objection sustained. You may continue to question the witness. Phew, that was close. If you stop me there, the trial would be over.
Huh? What? So what happens now?
What happens now is you answer my question. How did you know it was a clock?
What? That's because I heard it? Yes, I heard it say the time.
So you went to the law offices of Fay & Co.
No, hey, I didn't say that. Why would I go there? I heard it from my whole hotel room, hee hee.
Offices of Fay & Co. where the murder took place is very close to the hotel. You easily heard the clock. Oh. Well, Mr. Wright, are you satisfied? No. No, Your Honor. I can't give up now. Not satisfied because she couldn't have heard it? It couldn't have rung. Your Honor, members of the court, it is inconceivable that the clock in question rang. It's empty. That clock is missing its clockwork. How could you possibly? Just take a look right now. Oh, see anything interesting, Your Honor? Oh, it is the defense says. This clock is missing its clockwork. It's quite empty. Mr. Wright, would you care to explain to the court the meaning of this? Is as you can see, the clock was empty. It couldn't have been rung. Therefore, this witness is a big, fat liar.
Fat?
Well, Miss May? Tisk kisk. Quite a show you put on for us, Mr. Wright. He knew the clock was empty. Somehow he knew. I'm afraid you've gotten one thing, however. Indeed, the clock is empty, as you say. It can't ring. However, we must ask, when was the clock removed? It was after the witness heard the clock. There is no contradiction. That's true. That is a possibility. The clock might have been emptied after she heard it. And what exactly what happened, Your Honor? Well, Mr. Wright, can you prove when the clockwork was removed? I can't prove it, can I? Oh, possible, of course. I have proof. Huh? What? Wasn't it you who told me proof is everything? Well, I was listening, and now I'll show you the proof that you like me so much. Evidence that proved the clock was removed is... I think it has something to do here. Let me see. What is it this time? The clock isn't talking right now, huh? It's not working, it's the same. Ah! Take clock where I put some papers in papers. Is that the evidence? And okay. Let's present my cell phone. Take that! Take a look at this. That's a very cute cell phone.
Oh, you have a girly phone?
Wait. This isn't my phone. Listen. This is the defendant's cell phone, and it contains a recording. A recording of a conversation she had with the victim on the day of the murder. Order! Order in the court! The defendant's cell phone? This wasn't brought to my attention. Perhaps Detective Gumshoe overlooked it. Yeah, the good detective better remember he's up for evaluation soon. Gotta say, I'm starting to feel bad for the big fella. Let's hear the conversation. 9:27 September 5th a.m. Your Honor, I think this makes it clear the clock was already gone by the time this was recorded, which was well before the witness even arrived at her hotel. Well, Miss May, would you care to explain this to the court? How did you know the weapon was a clock?
Well, it isn't obvious. I saw that clock before. What store was it again? I go to so many. Oopsie, I forgot. Wink.
So the witness has seen it before? That would make sense. Does defense have any objections, Mr. Wright? Yes! Yes! Witness claims she had seen it before, but this directly contradicts a piece of evidence already submitted to this court. Let's see it. Please produce this evidence that to prove the witness has not seen a clock before. It's because it's made by Larry Butts, because this has been made. Simple. This clock was never in any store, ever.
Nani?
A friend of mine made that clock. Only two exist in the world, and the one that isn't here is in police custody.
Impossible. Everything is sold in stores.
Miss May, I think it's high time you went shopping for a better excuse. Oh, excuse is not on sale today?
Oh. Yeah.
Oh no! She's crazy! She has those crazy eyes! Oh my god.
What's it to you, you porcupine head? That stupid clock doesn't matter, okay? She did it, and she should die for it.
There we go. People become crazy.
Die!
Whoa! Let's not get ahead of ourselves. This is a court of law, and the witness will remain calm.
Yeah. Eh? Oh. Silly me. Did I, lose it? I guess I did, tee-hee. Wink.
Scary. Miss May, let me ask. Tell me, how did you know the weapon was a clock? Oh, Jesus. That's even more scary on that side. Oh, dear. Does the defense have an opinion on this behavior? Okay, this is it. Your Honor, allow me to explain how I see the truth of this matter. Miss April, you knew because the weapon's clock because you had heard about it. The witness had never held the clock in her hand. However, she had heard that there was a clock. She heard. That is correct, Your Honor. There is no other way she could have known the thinker was a clock. And I could show you the proof. Well, this is interesting. Let's see it then. Show me evidence proving that the witness had heard the murder weapon was a clock. The wiretapping. Have a look at this. I found this in Miss May's room. Mr. Wright, please explain to the court what this is, Miss April May. You were tapping the victim, Miss May Faye's phone, were you not? Objection. Your Honor, this is irrelevant. I'm not entirely sure that is objection overruled. Shows me that our witness was in possession of a wiretap. This is outrageous. Does the defense truly claim that the witness was tapping her phone? Absolutely. Even if that was the case, which is not, you still have one thing to prove. Did the victim ever say the weapon was a clock on the phone? Can you prove that? I think not. Oh yeah? I think I can. It's simple. What? Here's my proof. Who said on the victim said on the phone the weapon the clock is is this, isn't it? this. I think you're... Oh, that's not gonna prove anything, Mr. Wright. I think... Wait, that was just a warm-up. Okay, once again, I expect real proof this time. The proof that the victim said on the phone that the reptile clock is... Oh, I see. Cell phone. I present the defendant's cell phone. Yes, we've seen that. Listen once more to the conversation between the defendant and the victim. Mr. April May, you used a wiretap to listen to this conversation. That's how you knew the thinker was a clock. Am I wrong?
Objection!
Your Honor, this is ridiculous. Your Honor, look at the witness's face. Does she seem amused to you? The defense demands an answer.
La la la.
Witness, answer the question. Did you tap her phone? Miss May.
Shut up, all of you! It's your right to talk to me like that, you lawyer!
What? What? You called me a lawyer?
It's no fair, all you ganging up on me like that. I'm the bad girl, is that it?
She's crying. That did it. The court has seen the real Miss April May now. Now to deal the final blow. I see. Why the wiretap? Why did you tap her phone? Answer the goddamn question.
Do I have to? Isn't this a murder trial? Isn't tippity-tappity irrelevant?
Good. She's saying exactly what Exeter wants her to say. Miss May, you are tapping the victim's phone. I hardly call that irrelevant. While this court does not condone defense's tone of voice, he has a point. Well, Miss May, do you have an explanation for the court? Can you prove he had nothing to do with this murder, even though you tapped her phone? Huh, I'd like to see her pull that off.
Mr. Lawyer, I see that evil grin. You were probably thinking I'd like to see her pull that off, weren't you?
Damn, she's good.
Well, you're not the first man who's thought that, and of course I can and men will.
You cannot be serious, no way.
Wait, I say, wait, and I assure you I'm serious, Mr. Lawyer. Okay, so the killing happened around 9 at night? Why, that's just when I was getting room service from the sweet bellboy.
Room service?
Iced coffee, I believe it was. Iced coffee, you know, like normal coffee, but
Yes, I know what iced coffee is, you dumb bitch. I'm not stupid.
You don't drink it quick, the ice melts and you have to have regular cold coffee.
Iced coffee? Are you serious right now, Phoenix?
Think I'm making this up? Ask the bellboy, wink.
There we go, the witness was not the scene at the time of the murder. So where does this leave us? It is my greatest displeasure to inform you that the witness appears to be tapping the phone's victim's cell phone. However, that is a separate kind with no bearing on the current case whatsoever. Her testimony stands. She saw the defendant, Maya Fey, commit murder. No, they're going to just let her walk away? Well, I can win this unless I tie Miss May to the murder cell. Well, does the defense have anything to say? Well, come on, think of something. I called a bellboy as a witness. The defense would like to call the hotel bellboy as a witness. There's something suspicious here, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it.
I think you're sucking quite low enough already.
I object to calling the bellboy. Why? What's your reason? Because I hold that the wiretap happening had nothing to do with the killing. However, if you agree to one condition, I consent to calling this witness. Condition? If Miss April May's alibi is not called into question after you examine the bellboy, you will recognize that Miss April May was not the killer, that she is innocent. Thus, therefore, you must accept the verdict of guilty of Miss Maya Fey. That is my condition. Nani? You can't just do that! I better find something suspicious in that bellboy's testimony, otherwise Maya will be declared guilty on the spot. What should I do? I accept your conditions. Alright, I got nothing else to lose except for, well, everything. Understood, I accept your conditions. Fool. You fell right into my trap. What? It was a trap? Damn you, Edgeworth! Wait. It's too late for this matter. Very well. The court calls the hotel bellboy to the stand. Be ready to for the witness to testify. He certainly does look like a bellboy. Yes, sir. I received your summons in the middle of work, sir. I'm happy to be of service. The T6 looks rather heavy. Without further ado, the witness may begin his testimony. Very good, sir. Witness testimony. I am the head bellboy at the 8 Water Hotel in Genders for 4 generations. I received a call after 4 in the evening from our guest, Miss May. She asked for an iced coffee to be brought to her at 9. On the dot, sir. I brought it to her precisely at the requested time, of course. I delivered the iced coffee to our guest, Miss May herself. I see. The defense may begin its cross-examination. Right, I'm ready, I hope. This is it. If I can't prove Miss May was involved with the murder now, Maya will be finished. What exactly is it you do at the hotel? Why, anything required of me, sir. I check in on guests, check out guests. I clean rooms, I make beds. I even deliver room service, sir. I check Miss May in personally. Are you always so prim? Mr. Wright, you will refrain from asking frivolous questions. Are you sure it was Miss May on the phone? Absolutely, sir. How can you be so certain? I checked Miss May in personally, sir. Not only did I see her in all stunning radiance, I also heard her voice. I saw them, and ahem. Point being, I remember her quite well, sir. Yes, what then? 9 on the dot, you say? Yes, I confirmed that every detail several times. Watching a program team and wished to drink after he finished, sir. 9, the time of the murder. Precisely 9 then? Precisely, exactly. And most definitely, sir, 9 p.m. How can you be so sure? Where is your evidence? Miss May was quite insistent that it be brought then. Oh, bellboy, tee-hee, I like iced coffee at 9 o'clock. Something like that, sir. Therefore, I knocked on the door at the crack of 9 o'clock, sir. Why was she so particular about the time? You are sure it was Miss April May herself? Absolutely sure, sir. Absolutely. Yes, sir. As in, so very absolutely, sir. It's an endearing mannerism of time. Mine. How come you're so very certain? Well, when I brought room service, sir, the guests, sir, favorably would, embrace her, sir. Embrace her? Is that French for embrace? It's French for kiss, sir. It's not a French kiss, sir. It's more of a peck on the cheek. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Why would she have done that? Maybe perhaps it was momentary, swayed by the prim demeanor, sir. It was a moment I shall never ever forget, sir. Sounds pretty fishy to me. I think our Miss May was waking up to something and wanted the bellboy to remember her. It's no good. It's nothing there. Is this it? Finally, you understand. This bellboy has absolutely nothing to do, reason to lie. Now, if any decency, you will end this rather tedious cross-examination here. Oh, I think it was a bit tedious. The witness may leave the stand. Can't let this happen, can I? I protest this. Wait. Please wait. Yes? Does the defense have something to add? One last question. Let me ask one last question. Objection! Your Honor, I must object. The charade of justice has gone long enough. No, Mr. Edgeworth. Alright, Mr. White. I'll give you one more question, that's all. Okay. This is really it. Now, my last chance. What do I ask him about? Check-in. Tell me about check-in. Tell me how about when you checked in Miss May. Oh, alright. Very well, sir. First I was she was a beautiful, beautiful person. She was just my type of girl, so it was a disappointment, really. I see. Excuse me? What exactly was a disappointment? Well, I'm not without charm, but I even have a little chance to have hurt with her lover there. Oh, no! What did he say? What did you say? Or rather, quite. Bellboy, tell us the truth now. Did Miss May check in with another person? Objection! I object! That was objectionable! Objection overruled. The witness will answer the question. Yes, I see. Why did you not mention this in your testimony? Well, sir, you, didn't ask. Nice try. That's the sort of thing you're normally supposed to mention. Yes, quite. Indeed. It was the, good barista there, Mr. Edgeworth, who... He asked me not to mention it if it wasn't specifically asked. Oh, you son of a bitch. Oof. Oof. You fool. I've done it. I've won. Miss April may check into a trim room with a man, correct? Yes, sir. Then, when you brought them room service, you didn't see that man in the room? That's right, sir. Your Honor, we have just learned of another person involved who may have been the murderer. In light of this new fact, I hold that it's impossible to judge the defendant. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Edgeworth? And who, Mr. Wright? Who is this other person? Simple, it was the man with Miss May. The man who checked in with Miss May. Yeah! Oof! Your Honor, the previously revealed Miss April May was tapping the victim's phone. Yet Miss May herself has an alibi of the time of murder. However, that does not clear the man that was with her. The bellboy saw no one else in the room that at the time of the murder. What a convenient little setup, but it's a little too late. Too late? I suppose you'd like if it was too late, wouldn't you? After all, it was you who hid the presence of this other man from this court. Yeah. Upstart. Amateur. These accusations are ludicrous. Enough! The court acknowledges the defense's argument. I expect the prosecution and defense to look fully into this matter. Am I understood? Yes, Your Honor. That is all for today for the trial of Maya Fey. Court is adjourned. Saturday, 7th, 2:24 p.m. District Court, defendant lobby number 1.
Mr. Wright, you're amazing in there.
Really?
Think you might be I might be your newest fan.
Oh, I was just doing my job, you know.
Then again, the other attorney was pretty cool too.
Huh?
The face of his, and with his eyes wide and trembling lips, I sent shivers down up my spine.
You say so.
So what happens with me?
Do I get to go home now? Well... No, I don't think so. Not yet. Oh, I see. But I got a great lead in today's trial. A lead? A man with Miss May. He's the key. Oh, I get it. What happened to Miss May after that anyway? I heard they arrested her. Guess she's learning her charms won't work everywhere. She's probably at the detention center now. I may have to go down there later. Anyway, this is far from closed. Yes, sir. I'm gonna find out more about this man. Do you think he was the one who... Maybe so. Sis. Don't worry. I'll find him by tomorrow. I promise. I'm counting on you. As for full record of April May's testimony, I thought it might come in handy during the trial tomorrow. Now I haven't, I'm not so sure. Most of her testimony was all lies. In fact, there's only one part that is restricken from the record. I don't know how much good this will do me at all now. Anyway, time to take the payment and do some investigating. Well, it doesn't seem to belong in the detention center. It's up for me to set her free. Alright, we're saved the game. So alright, so that'll be all for today's episode. So next time on Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, we got ourselves another investigation deal after we survived day 1 of trial against Miles Edgeworth. I guess I'll see you guys all next time.